It was definitely not planned. I was really nervous. There's like this super long list of what I don't have and all the things I'd have to figure out. So yeah, it was just a lot of shock. I wanted to make the decision myself because I knew if I told my mom, then they were just going to be, overbearing and kind of pushing their beliefs a little bit more. I finally opened up to a family member. I opened up to my aunt. She basically helped me communicate with my mom what was going on, and so it was kind of nice to have someone in my background trying to be on my side. I did have an abortion set up, but my mom talked me into at least going to talk to someone first before I'd go and make that decision. So I met up with Katelynn, and she is at Park River, North Dakota. She runs that facility there. She was just really warm and welcoming. She told me to push it off a few more weeks and just think on it, because I was kind of arguing with her all the pros and cons of, like, what about going to college, or, I don't have a house. I didn't really have even a place of my own figured out at that time. I didn't think I'd be able to forgive myself if I did it, but I also didn't want to give up what I thought was going to be my freedom either, because it's a big sacrifice. Birth is scary and intimidating, so yeah, I was definitely on the fence.
I remember getting the phone call from Park River that they were hopeful that they were going to be bringing in this young woman, but we didn't even really know if she was going to actually show up, because she had her mindset, it sounded like, that she was going to be having this abortion. And then when she came, it was pretty clear that she was very closed off to wanting to hear really anything that we had to say.
Yeah, I was a little upset because I didn't want to hear what they were saying. So, as nice as Betsy was, it's just hard when you're leaning towards, getting an abortion, to hear from somebody that there's a heartbeat and that this is alive and that, you should change your whole lifestyle. And
you could tell that she didn't believe in abortion or think that abortion was something that she would ever consider at any point in her life. But just when she was actually placed in that situation, everything changed, and that was the only thing that she could think of. She had an appointment made already for her abortion, and at that point, I was really feeling like that was what she was going to end up doing. I knew that when she was here, her mom was out in the waiting room, and her mom was praying, and I could see her pleading with her eyes that she just wanted her daughter to choose life, but yet that it was kind of out of her control. I was just so hopeful that the ultrasound would be a powerful image for her to see that would maybe help change her mind.
They brought me back, and she, showed me what she called the little bean, because he just looked like a little glob. So I left that day kind of, with material to look into. It made it more real, so it made it more scary, but it also shined some light on, the fact that it was growing a life. It
was perfect timing, because prior to going into the ultrasound, we talked a lot about fetal development, and she was, again, very confidently said, it's not a baby yet. It's just a blob of tissue. I don't believe it's a baby until it's 12 weeks. And I just, validated her feelings on that, explained the facts that actually her baby did have a beating heart at this stage. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can take a listen to the heartbeat. When we went in to do the ultrasound at 7 weeks, it was very clear that we could see a beating heart on the ultrasound. There's a good, strong heartbeat. Her mom was in there with us. Her mom was crying, and still Katelynn was pretty closed off. She, I think, was surprised by what she saw, but she also was not willing to say at that point that she was ready to change her mind on anything. By the end of the ultrasound appointment, we always print off photos. She took the pictures, and I very much remember her looking at them, and then as we left, she handed them to our receptionist and showed the receptionist her pictures, which I thought was a big turning point, because you could see that there was just this softening in her heart that was happening. I just can't even remember the weeks, because they were just so painful, those weeks, debating all day. That's all I could think about. Yeah, so it consumed my mind for weeks and weeks and weeks. A couple days later, I reached out to her through a phone call, and she just said that she's really confused. She's all over the place with her emotions. She didn't still yet know what she was going to do, but that she was willing to postpone her abortion. She told me to stop by any time. It could be 10 times, 15 times, whatever I needed to make my decision, that I could just call her, and she'd just
show me the baby.
So a week later, she came in for another ultrasound, and at that time, we were able to see the baby moving around on the screen, and it was as if everything changed for Katelynn in that moment, and she just said, I'm going to cancel my abortion appointment, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have the baby, and I don't know how it's all going to work out. I just explained to her that we would be here to support her every step of the way.
It was kind of like a bunch of weight dropped off my shoulders, just because at least I made the decision. Like, there was a huge list of what ifs and what I needed. Like, I didn't realize how much stuff you need to have a baby. But I just remember praying that if God wanted me to have the baby, that I needed support and I needed lots of help, lots and lots of help. I was really torn because me and my boyfriend at the time, we weren't officially in a relationship quite yet, but he told me he'd support me no matter what. And my mom and dad both told me that they were super excited to be grandparents, and so just to know there was other people who were super excited to meet the baby kind of helped me to also want to meet the baby more. So I wasn't angry at Betsy or anything. I think I was just more angry that I even considered to have an abortion, because it's just, you look at your baby now and you're just like, I thought about, aborting you. So that's hard. So I'm sorry, just sick of. He was a big baby. It was a C-section because he was squished up in my rib cage breech. Yeah, no, he was 9 pounds, 2 ounces and 22 inches long. So he was a big guy. He has a lot to say too.
Katelynn during her pregnancy, has done a lot. We've both been doing as much as we possibly can, and I wouldn't change it for anything. I mean, I knew that she had some worries about the baby and having to take care of it, and I've told her the entire time that I have no problem, just helping her as much as she needs. And I didn't know if she believed me when I first said that, because we hadn't been together very long. But I feel like I'm keeping true to my word when I said that, so it's been nice to keep true to my word.
Yeah, no, I haven't had that before, so it was just kind of hard to hear those words when, I have some trust issues from past experiences, and so it's just great to look back and see how far we've come and how he kept his word and I kept my word, and we've just started to build a little family, so it's kind of beautiful.
So a lot of times, if someone doesn't know the direction they want to go with a pregnancy, they absolutely know what all of their friends are thinking. They think they know what their parents are going to say. So opinions and answers are a dime a dozen, but the one that matters is theirs. And so sometimes to get encouragement from someone who's not in their inner circle is so valuable, because it gives them the space to really think for themselves. And I think that's the hope that we give, that tomorrow can be better no matter what.
Yeah, just trying to get out of that dark place, choosing to go the harder route, knowing that there's a chance in the end you'll be happier. It was the hardest thing. The hardest thing I could have did, but it was the most beautiful, best decision I could have ever made, was trying to give up that substance, which I did, to have something more beautiful. I just encourage people that it really was worth it. I'm not just saying this stuff, it was the hardest, darkest time in my life. I was broken emotionally, and even growing up in a church, I mean, they don't tell you to numb it with alcohol, so it was, I was doing something to try to heal, and it wasn't the way I should have been trying to heal. I feel like I'm on the path of healing now, and I have someone I get to look at every day that just inspires me to be better, and that is the most amazing feeling.
It is so important, first of all, that we are coming to each client without judgment and just with love, because they are walking in some really difficult shoes. It's understandable to see how some of these clients would consider abortion, in all honesty. If you sat across from them in a room and you heard them describe the hardship after hardship, the years, the lifetime of difficulty that they've been through, and then to be faced with a pregnancy that they don't know how they're going to support this child, it's really easy to see how they would be contemplating abortion.
These clients are coming from some sort of brokenness, whether it be just a recent thing or a lifetime of just pain and not being supported or loved. And as much as we value the education we're giving them to get them ready to be moms and to help them after they become moms, we are giving them the love and support that most of them have never experienced. It's that unconditional love that we're not going to go anywhere. They might make mistakes along the way while they're with us, and we're still going to be right here, ready for them to walk in the door. And they're not used to that at all. So it's a pretty rewarding job to be able to serve that way and just be their constant person that's not going to walk away.
After I had met with Betsy a few times, she had said that there was a lady named Coco and that she was in charge of like the educational aspect of the pregnancy center. She started to send me through my phone a class every week.
A lot of people think Women's Pregnancy Center, it's while they're pregnant, but this is actually a program that can last nearly 3 years. So we help the women and the fathers through the pregnancy, and then after that baby's born, we're still there, right by their sides, helping them raise the baby. And we will serve that family now until the baby is 2 years old.
They had kind of a point system, so each class that I took got 20 points, and then you could kind of save up some points, and they have a tiny little store with all donations, baby clothes and some formula and diapers and just tons and tons of stuff. And so Danny and me kind of had fun going there and picking out some cute little onesies and stuff like that, and just visiting with the ladies every time I went in. They kind of started to become kind of like a little family.
This program is literally a vital key in breaking cycles. You have a mama come in here not planning to be pregnant, thinking that she has no choices. She doesn't know what she's going to do. You have a father thinking the same thing. They have a broken family possibly, and then they come in here, they commit. It's hard at first for them to commit, and then they commit and they feel the love, not just from their mentor, but from everybody that works here. And they start wanting to come in. And they come in and they visit outside of their appointments, and you just see that cycle start to change. And they start realizing, like, I'm worth it. My baby is worth it. This thing that they thought was going to be so hard becomes the joy that centers their life. Like, the Lord has given them that whole change of mindset, and then that's the start. That's the start of breaking the cycles. They're not going to do it the same way maybe they were raised, or in the same types of damaging relationships they were in before.
Joy is so easy to find when the story ends like Katelyn's. It's not always like that. And so I don't think there's anyone here who could even dream of filling their position without faith and without the rock that we stand on and the fortress we run to for strength and courage for every day. Jesus is absolutely the one who makes the difference here, and we know that. We are centered on Him. So when the days are tough, then when the outcome isn't quite as joyful, then we just go to God and we let the young woman know that anytime she wants to come back, she can, because there's a need for healing, usually many years down the road. But we're here for people. We're here for women who have that desire to work through their choices of the past and to find hope and healing in that as well.
I couldn't imagine it a year ago. I look back now and I'm like, it's only been a year, and I feel like my life changed so drastically. I wish there was a way to like zoom forward and then like when you're in a tough situation and see what it would be like. You know, the hardest part is not knowing. You just have to have a leap of faith.
It's absolutely amazing what I think that you can accomplish when you feel like you're living for a purpose, and there's been no better purpose in Easton, so.
You know, it's rewarding. It's been hard having to give up some of those freedoms that you get when you're not, you know, thinking of another human being, but I wouldn't change it. You know, it's the most rewarding thing you can imagine.